to wrestle the ball and the glove off of old Mookie Betts, and that was fun. And then finding out that somebody screamed out at Freeman during the Stand Up for Cancer part, "You suck, Freeman!" It's like the most New York thing ever.
That's so New York.
That was the only part that I saw or even interests me.
And that was such a cool moment when they did that too. And
when he said, "You suck, Freeman!"
Everybody's standing up for the whole stadium.
Very cool.
It was
do it all the time, though. They do it all
the time. It
was
neat, though. I just think it's neat.
Everybody's standing up, holding up a thing, but unless you're on camera, you're sitting there holding it, going, "Okay,
yeah."
I mean, why am I doing this?
And I'm sure some New Yorkers had some choice words on their little cards. I guarantee you.
Oh, absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. You did not want to pan the camera across that particular crowd at that particular moment. I assure you.
So let me be just completely honest about something. Tonight's game's going to suck. I mean, it's the Houston Texans playing the New York Jets. Unless you're a Texan fan, this game is going to suck. If you are a Jets fan, pretty much every game sucks. But this game for, you is going to be even, I think, worse. It's just not a great game tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, that's fine because then you can concentrate on answering the door and handing candy to the kids, or like I do, cigarettes, making sure they all get their start.
Nice.
Hey, it's not like I'm not a monster.
Cigarettes.
I don't light it for them. That's up to their parents to teach them. I just give them the cigarettes. You're welcome, America. But, so there's also a Suns game tonight. So that's cool. They're playing the Clippers at 7:30 p.m.
It's the fourth game they've played in Los Angeles, but
it feels like the fourth game they've played against the Clippers already. Jeez.
I mean, they played the Lakers twice and they played the Clippers twice. Can they leave California? Are they allowed?
No.
You know what, though? They're probably thrilled. They are probably very happy to not have to travel heavy right now. So,
True.
It's a good matchup for the Suns. Could be fun. But here's something I saw Kevin Durant say, and we're going to just calm your ass down. Okay? Calm your ass down. We're going to get to the football. But here's something I saw Kevin Durant was saying. He was just like, I highly doubt I'll get a statue of me put anywhere for playing basketball. Let's get you move around so much, dude. You're one of the greatest players I've ever seen. You have to admit that. You got to give up your haterade, Ralph, and say, yes, Kevin Durant, straight up sniper, one of the best players to ever play the game.
I happen to like Kevin Durant a lot. I do think he's a great player.
All right.
They should put a statue up of him in Oklahoma City.
No, in Seattle.
But they never won anything there, did they? Did they win a championship?
They didn't win a championship, but they did get to a finals. That's that first class for that team.
We would have a statue of Charles Barkley here if they had won a chip, but they didn't. Guess what we don't have?
No statues in Arizona. Good.
No, the statue we need is Al McCoy. That's the statue we need.
I agree with that.
Statue of Al McCoy should be in front of every Suns arena that ever exists from here on out. So if the current arena it ends up like the old Veterans Memorial Coliseum and there's a new arena somewhere, you move the statue. We got to have an Al McCoy statue, but we're never going to have a Charles Barkley statue. And it makes sense. Kevin Durant's hired hand.
But he wasn't in Oklahoma City.
He's a gunslinger, but they didn't win anything.
They drafted him.
You can't have a statue if you don't win
he's the one that built that house.
Doesn't matter.
He built that house. You don't have the Thunder as currently
can't have a statue if you don't have a chip.
I don't think that rule necessarily needs to apply.
It absolutely does.
I think if you are the greatest player to play for a franchise, and to this moment he still is,
we're going to have to fight this fight.
You get the
tomorrow.
statue
because we're going to fight this fight. Because I'm not backing off of this one. You don't get a chip, you don't get a statue. Is the way it should be.
No, I mean, look, there are things.
Unless it's like a Dwayne Wade looking statue, then you get a crap statue. You get Charles Barkley with a statue up of him that looks like Steve Urkel, and that'll be Charles Barkley statue.
But where's the statues in Arizona?
Charles,
they didn't win.
But they have a statue of a guy that got killed. I mean, I saw that statue.
Which one? The Pat Tillman?
Yeah, that's the only statue in the city.
Different.
Is that the only statue in the city?
That's different.
Maybe.
Yeah, because they don't win anything. So yeah,
there's a statue of Wallace and Ladmo. I think there is a statue of Wallace and Ladmo. You don't know who they were?
Wallace and Ladmo.
They were like a kids show, and
a local show.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up here, so.
Trust me, everybody listening who has been around for any amount of time, hell yeah, Wallace and Ladmo statues.
Never heard of them.
They were really cool. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get bogged down with that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have any. I don't think we have any statues, really.
You don't.
Hmm?
You don't.
Yeah. But well, Al McCoy, that should be the one. Unless we get a championship. And even then, I just don't see Kevin Durant being on our statue. We don't have a guy that would be on the statue. I'm not that
Okay, so
Booker?
Kevin Durant can't be the statue. If he were to be on this team and win you the only championship you'd have, that doesn't get you the statue.
But it wasn't just him.
Why does it have to be just you? There
then
is
it-
almost never
because
just
Booker has done as much and he's been here the entire time.
Okay, so
his
you should
entire
get one
career.
too. All right. That,
So now we're just handing out statues.
But don't
Really?
hire
okay,
Willy-nilly?
is it the championship or is it not? It's not willy nilly. If those are the two best players
Calm
that have
down,
won you a
Keon.
championship,
We're not going to win a championship. You know that.
I don't know
that's
that.
true. That's true.
It's called I got to watch the games and see.
You could hire that guy that did that one statue that no one can see who the heck it is. You see that guy? They put a statue up. They don't know who it is.
They still don't know who it is.
I mean, they know who it is. It looks nothing like him.
You know it's Dwayne Wade, right?
Yeah, it looks nothing like him.
No,
Yeah,
it
I mean,
doesn't.
despite the fact that Dwayne Wade insists that it looks very much like him,
Dwayne Wade's
he's-
lying.
he's
There's a
either
new one.
in denial or blind.
Yeah.
There's a new one. I saw somebody take a picture of that and then put it over like the Han Solo frozen in Corbinite. It's actually very perfect.
I can see that.
Very
that.
perfect.
Oh.
Yeah, Maya D wants a Ladmo bag. Oh, the Ladmo bags. You're right. Oh my God. I want to give away Jeffco bags. We used to do that. Jeffco bags usually had alcohol though. Ladmo bags, not as often. 888-368-1580. Big George says happy Halloween and happy birthday, Jeffrey. Thank you very much. I hope you have a spectacular birthday. I'm not reading your text anymore today. Not after that.
That's good.
That's
What are you, 57?
George will hit you with the Friday and the hump
Ugh.
day.
ugh.
And now apparently the spooktacular. Yeah, I'm not even going to
Mm.
finish the sentence.
I like it.
I am 54 today. I am
Really?
substantially younger than Ralph.
Not really.
Woo!
Not
says,
really.
happy birthday, Jeffrey, and many more. Do I have to? Okay.
I
You
don't
said
think
many
so.
more? How about like a handful?
Yeah. Yeah. Bullseye says, Scott E., king of my fantasy football. Well, he's not here, Bullseye. He's not here till the next hour. So I'll just save your question for him till later. Moist One says, I held up one of those cards last Halloween. What's he talking about?
Card.
What card?
Because we were
Yeah.
talking about the stand up for cancer card. What are you talking about?
Oh, he held up one of those stand up for cancer
Oh,
cards.
maybe they did that when the Diamondbacks were in the World Series.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
I mean, it's
one
all
time thing.
fine. It's cool, but I just don't get it, to be honest.
It's a nice one-time event. Good for you.
Spend the money you use printing the cards and just give it to
It's
charity.
still kind of cool.
Well, yeah, it's just they're just trying to keep it in your mind and all of that because they are also raising a lot of money for cancer research. That was what the
And,
initiative is.
By the way, I just want to say this. I put this message out on social media, thanking everybody for all the birthday wishes. But remember, in lieu of a charitable contribution in my name, it's my wish that you just please send me the money directly. Skip the poor Gimpy kids. Put that
Wow.
money right in my whiskey and
Gimpy?
pizza fund. Yes, don't waste time sending this off to cancer research
Wow.
or homeless or hungry. Just
Oh my god!
send that money right to me. That's my birthday wish.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
That's crazy. It's like a make-a-wish.
Damn.
I mean, why can't I?
You're
Like,
right. You only have a handful of birthdays left. I'm
That's-
thinking
I might as well have
karma's
some
going
fun
to get you.
with it. Berg says, "Happy birthday, Jeffrey. Long game is over. Mustard prevails. It sucks, and so do the Yankees." Berg hates the Yankees as much as I do, but I just didn't hate them enough to care what happened with the Dodgers, and so I just abstained from the entire thing. But the entire time, Berg has been saying, "I love Mustard." It was a reverse jinx meant to somehow, and I still don't understand, impact the Yankees and curse them. And and according to Berg, it worked. That's all that matters. Well
If
done,
you-
Berg.
If you hate them as much as you say you do, you would have loved the game last night. I mean, you would have been in your glory.
I
really
wanna-
would have.
The
You know
heartbreak.
what? I heard
Just
enough
that
to know
fifth
that
inning.
they were going to lose, and they lost at home, right?
Yeah, but that fifth inning,
That
you
was
would have
perfect.
laughed. You just would have laughed the whole time.
No, the whole reason that I'm happy about how it went last night without watching is that they lost at home. So they're miserable. Your fans were unhappy because they didn't do it at home. Like they probably
Right.
would have liked to have been there in person. So there are some people who are unhappy at some level. And then your idiot fan base decided to burn a bus and destroy the town, which
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
not bad.
well
We
done.
only
As
burned
for
one
LA,
bus.
that's
Yeah,
yeah.
one bus.
That's a
That's pretty
giant
good.
bus.
I remember the Lakers got the three-peat when I was
many
in,
buses.
in high school, and man, like just the city
Cop
was on
cars,
fire
buses.
for
Never
days.
understand. I understand if you lose, you're mad, burn down your house. And then I'm like, no, burn down someone else's house. Go burn down L.A. instead.
That's just a
I
segment.
just-
It's a
But when
segment
you
of
win,
society
you
that
should
loves
be
to do it.
happy.
It's a segment of society that takes any advantage they can when something happens, so they can go do something stupid like
But-
burn a
but
bus.
like-
Oh,
so
look at
loot.
this! It's loot o'clock.
Specifically
exactly.
in that city, because I remember when I was also in high school, the Spurs were a good team then, and they won a championship, and you could go down the Riverwalk, and it was just people celebrating with margaritas at the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
See, you
Nothing
needed
got
fire.
burned.
You need fire.
Nothing got lit on fire. Cars were not overturned.
Well, what you've learned here is California sucks.
Just a bus.
The end.
It's just a bus.
It's just,
Just
a
a
bus.
a bus and 12 arrests. No
you,
big deal.
you are
The guy sitting there
desensitized.
about a couple miles down, waiting for it's like, well, this is bullcrap.
because I'm taking an Uber tonight. Yeah.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, sure hope Westwood One doesn't listen to this show. Yeah, tonight's matchup sucks. You shouldn't listen. Hand out candy instead. No, listen, listen, we're airing the game. They're going to have their commercials played. I'm just being honest with
Just
you.
get a radio. If you want to keep the kids away from your house, put it out on the front porch and let them hear the game. They
It's
won't
gonna-
come within 10 feet of your house.
It's going to be a stomp is what it's going to be. Now, if you enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers look unhappy, which I kind of do, he'll have the game on.
Just in the background.
But eventually you're going to have to switch off to the Suns. That's all. Donnie says, how many championships did Al McCoy call? He had no impact on whether they won or lost, Donnie. Al McCoy was one of the best in the game. Even a hack troll like you would have to acknowledge that if you ever spent any moment listening to
And
Al McCoy.
Just the conversation about championships coming from a Timberwolves fan is deeply hilarious.
It is
to me.
laughable. That
It's
is,
just, I
especially when
can't, like, of
your
all
record
the-
gets worse and worse.
Of all the teams to come here and talk smack, is you?
Think about it. Timberwolves, Vikings. What are you talking about?
You've never seen. None of your play-by-play guys have called one either.
Well, except for the Twins. But that
But
was
he's
a fluke.
he's a Diamondbacks fan in the
Oh.
one place where it would actually help him
Yeah.
to be a Minnesota sports
You
fan.
gave up on
He's
those
not.
guys.
That's just stupid.
Steve Ash says, breaker blender crew. Damn, statue of Ernie Banks and Harry Carey at Wrigley. They never won a championship. No, that's none of my business. I'm just saying, Harry Carey did deserve a statue. And I don't know, we could talk about Ernie Banks, but Wrigley Field at least has had, World Series champions a couple of times. He says, plus Arizona has a statue of Pat Tillman. He never won a championship. Well, that's not the reason to have the statue of Pat Tillman. He says, yeah, except for he won in life defending America. Well, okay.
That's right.
Listen, individual thought processes may vary, and that's my opinion. At least at this moment, I'm not saying in every circumstance, but in this, until somebody wins a championship in Arizona, no need for a statue, except for Al McCoy. Taco Kenny says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Fifth letter says, happy effing birthday, Jeffrey. Congrats, Ralph. Lakers are next. Going to repeat 2020. What, we're going to get COVID and they're going to brag about winning the
No, I'm not going to
bubble
Dodgers won
championship?
2020. So yeah, the Dodgers won in 2020. Lakers won in 2020. You know what? Only thing I got to say, it just feels so good. That's all you got to say.
Put
When your
both
team-
hands where I can see when you say
wins
that.
a championship, when your team wins a championship, it just feels good.
Both hands up like this. That
Like
just
this.
means-
It just
yeah,
feels good.
Thank you.
Very
Sundar
good.
the San Barbarian says, Ralph, our
Uh,
Dodgers are World Series
That's
champions.
right.
Blah, blah, blah. Dramatic wins. Blah, blah, blah. World Series history. What a great feeling. Blah, blah, blah.
Are you going to give this team any credit?
I'm
you
not.
gonna-
I don't even know which team you're talking about.
I'm going to do this all year, just so you know.
And then I also will do this all year.
Okay.
Big George says, Ralph, for the record, I did congratulate you.
You did.
What do you want to reach
A
around?
bunch of guys on X were very cool last night, man. See, those are real sports guys.
Mhm.
And then there was Donnie,
Mm.
And then there was Donnie. That's usually how that goes.
who doesn't have an effing clue about anything. So
Pierre gives me a French happy birthday.
Pierre's not real.
No, that just means with tongue. Pink Eye
Oh.
says, happy birthday, Jeffrey.
Hmm.
Are you a vampire? Okay, 5-minute penalty for Pink Eye because born in Halloween. Spare me the jokes. And that wasn't even a good one, man. Bullseye says, sorry, I thought this was the hour for fantasy football. I have something to say to Ralph.
Oh, jeez.
He says, happy respect for your Dodgers.
Who's that?
As Bullseye.
Thank you, Bullseye.
T-Licious says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. And the Dodgers got their first real championship since 1988.
That's just asinine.
Suck it, Ralph.
That's just asinine to even say that. But all right.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, there's nothing scarier to play outside for the trick-or-treaters than hearing Aaron Rodgers and the Jets try to play football. Yeah, I have no decorations. I'm just going to put a TV out on the lawn.
Yeah, just Aaron Rodgers overthrowing Garrett Wilson again.
Bruno Baller
Spooky.
says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. Not to be a party pooper, but tonight will be the last early start. I know. I'm kind of sad today because the time change happens this weekend. So this is the last show that we get that's an hour and a half long.
Oh,
Back to 2.5 hours at the very least next Monday. I didn't need you to remind me that. I'm already sad about it. It's also a pain in the ass when all the time change happens with the satellites and stuff. Thanks a lot, Bruno Baller.
Scott King on longer.
What?
Yeah, Scott King on for an hour.
No, the time just shifts. He's going to be on at 5 to 5:30, and we're going to do our picks at 4.
Oh, so the first hour is just talking. Okay.
The first hour, if I remember right, from last season, is just nothing.
We just goof off for an hour.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I still don't want to prepare for anything. Chosen One says, hey, Ralph, how was the Twins a fluke? They won twice in 4 years.
So
That's great comeback. So
Because you can't argue with it. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just talking to
it's the
somebody.
only two they've ever won, correct?
so
Okay, that's nice. Two
In that-
championships
in
is
that
nice.
fake stadium they played in where the ball was basically pushed out by air from behind the plate.
Okay, well, that's true. That's it.
Taco
Right?
Guinea is
That's a
taking issue with something I didn't say. Well, I didn't say it on purpose because that's not something I'm going to say about the Dodgers. Donnie says, I just want Ralph to do a video of the stupid Dodger dance.
I'll do it.
What is the Dodger dance?
When they get a hit, they all do a Freddie Freeman dance.
Yeah, get your ass up. Let's see it.
I ain't getting my butt up to do it right now, but I'll.
You said you'd
record
do it.
I'll record it and put it on X.
Well, he's got to record it so he sees that it's perfect and that his hair is all right and his beard is all straight. I mean,
then
I've got to
you
manipulate my muscle mass.
record it from your good side.
Yes,
you
you
got
do.
you got a lot of things going on.
if nothing else, Ralph. Yes, you do. Amaya D says, I hate the douchers. Really, I don't hate them.
Haters hate.
I'm annoyed by them. And
Why?
Ralph liking them makes it worse.
Why are you
but
annoyed?
I hate the Yankees.
They did nothing to you.
Yeah, you don't know.
What'd they do?
You don't know where they touched me.
Huh?
Moist One says March Madness right around the corner. The big corner, but you're right. Moldy Tuna Fish says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. Okay, 5-minute penalty for him. Moldy
that's just
I like it.
says, thanks for giving back to the community by doing this amazing show. You're still getting the penalty for the bad Halloween fun.
The apology
But
after the
you're-
fact does not make it better.
But you're welcome. Average Joe says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. I hope you finally get that letter E for your name. Yeah. So my name is spelled Jeffrey, and people say, well, where's the E? And I'm like, well, them vowels cost a lot of money back in the 70s. Pat Sajak's a greedy bastard. My parents are like, he doesn't need it. And that's why. That's the
Rich
true
report to be
story.
Named right. Okay.
Should we probably be doing our picks right about now, huh?
Why?
Well, because it's Thursday and
That's what we do.
Oh, that's
Should do Dodger talk.
No, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and not do any kind of Dodger talk, but we are going to do
Thank
our
God.
Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks. Come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
NBA tonight, the Phoenix Suns are on the road to take on the LA Clippers. Phoenix a 4.5-point road favorite, minus 180 on the money line, while the Clippers plus 150 with an over-under of 221.5. NFL week number 9, the Arizona Cardinals will be home taking on the Chicago Bears. The Cardinals are in a 3-way tie for the lead in the NFC East at 4-4 and are a 1.5-point home favorite, minus 195. The Bears plus 105 with the over-under total at 44.5. Thursday night football tonight, Jets and Texans. New York, a 2.5-point home favorite. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Spin Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, time for the Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em Picks. Let's get this thing going. Thank you, Mr. Roboto. Oh, he agrees with me about Al McCoy, by the way. I'll come back and read your full text here in a minute. We got to get something done right real fast. So, okay, here we go. Talking about all the games that happen on 1580 The Fanatic and plus our own games and looking for a good matchup this week. I don't know. What's the best matchup you guys think? Is it Detroit and Green Bay?
I think so.
Yeah.
I like
Probably.
that game.
Is it? I mean, if Jordan Love doesn't play, I don't know that that's quite
true.
the matchup that it could be.
He was seen in practice today.
He
may
feels
play.
confident that he's going to play. He did practice today, which is a good sign. And if he practices again tomorrow, he probably is playing. But you almost got to wait and see when it
All
comes
right.
to something like a groin injury.
Well, let's look at this. We got Green Bay Packers at home against the Detroit Lions. I personally think whether Jordan Love plays or not, the Detroit Lions will win. What do you say, Ralph?
I say exactly the same thing. I just think the Lions are on a roll. That's a great team that I think this year has a great shot at going all the way. And I think that they're going to be better than the Packers. I like Denver. Detroit. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to follow you guys. I think Detroit they're just the better team here. I know that obviously you saw it on the field. They do miss Aiden Hutchinson a little bit, but I just don't think that the Packers have been consistent. It's been a kind of a roller coaster ride with Jordan Love. He's had the great moments where he's looked great. Then he's had some moments where he's not so much. So I'll take the Lions. They've been far more consistent, and their offense got a nice rest last week. They didn't even throw the ball.
How many more ways can I call Donnie a dumbass? I mean, I feel like I've used quite a bit of variety in calling him an idiot. He says, Jeffrey, name the bet, you coward. It's not about being a coward. It's just about the fact that I don't think the Colts are going to win. You know, because the Colts are playing the Vikings, and he's like, "Oh, what's your bet? What's your bet?" I'm not betting on my team right now. My team's garbage.
And that doesn't make you a coward if you know before the game starts, yeah, we're probably not going to win. That makes me smart for knowing my own team and then not betting on them like blindly. That is actually dumb.
Money or other things at you,
He's lost
unless
two in
it's
a row,
sharp.
man. He's lost 2 in a row. Why is he talking smack?
I have no idea. He's just looking for something to be happy about. It's not happening, Donnie. I got no reason to bet. I mean, who knows? Colts might screw around, but we're not ready for that pick yet. All right. Why don't you just stay in your lane and let us get back to work here? Thursday Night Football tonight. Like I said, it ain't great, but it might be fun. Why? Because when two teams, this is not really that, is it? Usually I say when two teams that aren't so great play each other, it turns into a good game, but the Houston Texans actually kind of good. I mean, they're 6-2 right now. I don't know if that's a honest 6-2 or if that's just I don't think
it
they
is.
Played 6-2.
It's a who they played, in my opinion.
So, okay.
They feasted on a lot of bad teams. A lot of those games were close that shouldn't have been close. They had that
So this
fight for their life against Jacksonville.
Right. So this might be kind of fun to watch. I mean, I'll tell you right now, right up front, I'm picking the Houston Texans because whatever is happening with these Jets. Well, was it the coach? Guess. Well, probably
Well,
that didn't. That
well,
didn't-
they're
wait,
0-3
was it
since
this
they fired
player?
him.
Was it they didn't have enough wide receivers? Nope,
0-2 since they traded for the guy.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know.
Oh, but that's the one guy you can't point a finger at in that building. So, you know,
Right.
look, as
Look
much
at
as
that.
I
You see that giant finger, right? That's me.
I have lots of doubts about the New York Jets, or sorry, about the Houston Texans, but I don't have a doubt that they'll beat the New York Jets. The Jets are just bad, and nothing that they have done has addressed the actual problem in that building.
Mm-hmm. And it's right between the ears of one Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. So I got the Texans. You got the Texans, Keon?
I do have the Texans. I do think that between the ears of Aaron Rodgers is a problem, but also, you know, 3 of the 5 guys that block for him are not actually good at their jobs. That's the biggest problem they had. They didn't fix it.
Can I give you a little bit of a conspiracy theory on that? Well, I don't like Aaron Rodgers. You don't like Aaron Rodgers. Nobody seems to like Aaron Rodgers. Why would you think the line likes him? And maybe after getting, an earful of Aaron Rodgers day in, day out, they're like, go on through. Just see what you can do about it.
There might be a play or two where I become a matador.
He's
I don't
got
know.
his hands on the other guy's pads going, just do me a favor, make it look good. I got to look like I'm trying. Okay. Ole. I don't know, Ralph. What do you think?
I mean, the only thing about this game is I think Diggs is out for the year, right? And Nico Collins is out with a hamstring. So your 2 top receivers on the Houston side are gone. That's a problem. So you're probably going to see a lot of run game tonight, which I think that's what you're going to have to see. And the Jets' run defense isn't horrible.
It's 17th, so
it's not horrible.
Like
It's middle of the road, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that's where this game is because I mean, he doesn't have his 2 weapons. That's a big deal.
He's got Brees and Hall.
Well, no, that's the Jets.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jets.
Talking about the Texans, they're losing their top 2 receivers, and they get to rely on Mixon, right?
Yeah. My only
to be your
issue
guy.
with that is if you flip it the other way and you look at the Jets, the Jets passing the football have been, just incredibly middle of the road themselves. The Texans are the 4th ranked passing defense. Like it's hard to throw the football on the Texans, and the way Rodgers has been playing lately, I don't trust him to be the guy to figure it out.
Well, I was going to say, I think this is going to be a run-on-run game. I mean, I think both teams, it's going to come down to what running game is going to be better because you're right. I think the Jets offensive line is trash.
I'm going to tell you where you're wrong.
The defense.
I'm going to tell you where you're wrong. The Houston Texans will effectively run the ball. The Jets are going to do too much attempts at passing. Why? Because you have an interim coach, which is basically Aaron Rodgers' hand up his ass. And he's just a puppet. So Aaron Rodgers is going to be trying to throw the ball a lot and failing. So if you're going to go run to run on this, the Houston Texans are just going to stomp the Jets.
And I'll back you up with a stat, Jeffrey. The Jets are the 30th rushing team in football. They can't run.
And they have Brees Hall.
It's not because the offensive line is that bad. When you look at the some of the more advanced numbers for Brees Hall, he is one of the earliest contact running backs, which means he sees a defender actually hitting him earlier in a play than just about every other running back in football.
It's crazy.
He has to beat a guy 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage just to get a chance to get back to negative yard or to zero yardage. It's
a shame because he is good.
He is good, but that offensive line is atrocious, and they just aren't going to fix it. They're just not worried about it. Trade deadline's Tuesday. You haven't heard anything about the Jets and an offensive line. It's not happening.
All I'm going to say is it's Thursday night and weirder things happen on Thursday night, and it's Halloween. The Jets could win this game. Am I going to take the Jets? I so want to take them. I think they could win this game.
No, just
but
do
they're so bad.
I want to pass.
No,
I'm already 4 up on you now. I'm 4 up on you now in the pick. So go ahead.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's got to be right.
I think
I'll
think
take
you are tied again for the 3rd separate time this season. If I get ahead of Ralph, he catches me. If Ralph gets ahead of me, I catch him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Houston, but I will not be surprised to see the Jets win tonight.
I would be stunned.
All right, Sunday morning, the Denver Broncos visit the Baltimore Ravens. Now, there's a thing that's been sort of interesting, and that is that Lamar Jackson has not been in practice. He has not been in practice the last couple of days, and the team is saying he's got a knee and back injury. Now, On one hand, they're saying, oh, it's just a Veterans Day off. The other hand, they're saying, oh, he's dinged up or whatever. So I'm not really sure what to believe. Denver's been playing pretty good here and there.
Like the defense has been lights out.
Baltimore has been playing pretty bad here and there. So this one is not a simple, straight up Ravens win. I'm going to pick the Ravens conditionally. If it turns out Lamar Jackson is not playing, I am flipping it to the Denver Broncos. But right now, as it is, I'm going to go with the Ravens. Ralph?
Do you know who has the last rated defense in the NFL? The Ravens.
The Ravens? They were supposed to be the best. What happened?
In terms of yards, they give up a lot of yards.
Yeah, 291 a game.
The games they win are shootouts.
So that's what's throwing me in this game. Now, I know that I love Denver's defense. That defense is good. And if Lamar's not playing, they're going to have problems scoring.
Yeah, there's no shooting in the shootout, is there?
Right. And at that point, I'll tell you right now, my pick right now is going to be the Ravens. But if Lamar doesn't play, I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah, you've got to change.
I feel like you're just kind of shadowing me right now.
No, I'm not at all. I just think this is one of those games. If he plays, they should win. If he doesn't play, I think they're going to have a lot of trouble scoring. And I think that Knicks is going to figure out a way to put some points up against that defense. They're just not that good.
I don't trust Bo Nix to be the guy to do it because he's been bad more than he's been
good.
But
he's managing the offense.
He's managing it. But I know this defense hasn't been great, but this is a Baltimore Ravens team that still has talent all over the place. Josh Johnson would be the backup quarterback. Josh Johnson's been okay in all the places that he's ever been. And you've got Zay Flowers out there, now Deontay Johnson to add to Mark Andrews. You still have Derrick Henry. Like, I just think the Ravens are that much better than the Broncos. If they were playing a team that I thought, like the Browns, they're familiar with them a lot. That'd be one thing, but I think even without Lamar, I'm probably still taking.
The one thing Knicks hasn't done, he hasn't turned the ball over. He has one pick this year.
Yeah, that usually happens when you don't try to throw the ball.
He's got 7 touchdowns. He's thrown for almost 1,000 yards. He's got a 67% completion rate.
But you look at
good numbers. In how many games is not much.
The thing is, like, he's just not attacking downfield. The touchdowns are really coming from, they get good field position just outside the red zone. Like, they're not a dynamic offense.
He's doing enough. And that's my point. I get it.
Yeah.
He's not dynamic, but he's doing enough with a good group around him and a great defense to win.
Look at the teams that have beaten the Ravens. You look at the Raiders. You look at the Browns. They had quarterbacks who were attacking downfield and taking advantage of that secondary.
Yeah, I get it.
Moving on to the next game because Fish Tank just showed up. He says, hey, do yourselves a favor. Go on your gambling app. Take the Bills at minus 13.5 and collect your money. It's in Buffalo. Tua's been historically bad against the Bills. Bills look good right now. We're going to lose by 20. That is Fish Tank's self-hating Dolphins fan take on that. Ooh. But let's be honest, Bills all the way. I mean, do we even need to analyze this? Do we just
not really?
All in favor of the Bills?
I like the Bills.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. 13's a big number, but I do think that the Bills are winning the game though.
Yeah, I agree.
So moving on to the next game that's on 1580 The Fanatic on Sunday Night Football. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the Vikings at home against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, here's the thing. Anthony Richardson has been given the back seat. Joe Flacco has been given the front seat. He is now the starting quarterback for the Colts going forward. That does change the dynamic of this game a bit. Now, like I said, I don't think that Flacco is elite. People think he still is. They are dumb. But it's not like the Vikings are really all that great. In fact, haven't they lost 2 in a row? But this is at home, and this is my Colts. I don't know. What do you say, Keon?
Yeah, I think this one's tougher than it looks like. I will take the Vikings because I just think that they are a team that generates a lot of yards. The numbers are there. Even in the games that they lost, they still scored a lot. They still moved the ball really well. They just played a Matthew Stafford that suddenly had Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp at his disposal. And the week before they played the Lions. Those are their 2 losses. I still think that's a really good football team. And I think, with the Colts, like Flacco does help you a lot. But I just think that the depth that the Vikings have on offense, I'll take them.
What do you say, Ralph?
Yeah, I think the Colts are better with Flacco. There's no doubt about it. But his inability to really move around, and I think you guys might have a second rookie starting on your offensive line this week because somebody had a concussion. That's not going to help. And the Colts defense is just bad. Their secondary's bad.
They didn't used to be bad. I don't know how
weren't.
it got bad. I mean, had a couple of guys get injured, but man, I was just a little surprised about. You're right. The defense has not played. There's been moments where they suddenly they're locked down, and the next moment they just get ran right through. It's hard to
They're
understand.
giving up 380 yards a game.
I feel like we got some bad coaching right now. That's kind of where the way I feel.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is your offense is never on the field a long time because Anthony Richardson can't move the ball.
Yeah,
and that makes the defense have
All
to.
true.
They get tired in the second half.
All true.
All that being said, I think Sam Darnold should have some fun against the secondary, and I think unfortunately, I think the Vikings are going to win this game.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Vikings, not because of anything Donnie says, because he's a moron, but I will say that I will laugh my ass off if the Colts do win. After we've unanimously said that they will lose, then they end up winning, and that'll be 3 losses in a row for Donnie. Yep. It'll feel good right here, like warm apple pie.
Also, that offensive lineman Ralph was talking about was the starting left tackle getting that blind side. Bernard Raymond, he's out.
Okay, yeah, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, being a Colts fan is what hurts. That's what hurts right now. All right, listen, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have Ralph's game, Keon's game, and of course, Arizona's game, Randy's game. We wish he was here to do his pick, but we all know which direction he'd probably go. But I don't know, maybe you'll be surprised at what direction we all go. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Well, we had another game on 1580 The Fanatic on Monday Night Football that we got to pick on. This actually could be a pretty good game. It's not like the Chiefs have been setting the world on fire with their offense. Their defense has been was really gotten them through to 7-0. But Tampa Bay, sometimes they play really well. Sometimes that defense does nicely, and sometimes that offense does nicely. I just don't know if they've got enough to overcome, the Chiefs. But I don't know. It's not going to be a bad game, is it, Keon?
I don't think so. I think that, last week we saw from Baker what it looked like when you didn't have Godwin and Evans. They still found a way to move the football, get it done, leaned a little bit more on Cade Otton than before. But I like the Buccaneers and their versatility. They're going to make it fun and interesting, but I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes at home.
All right. Now, I'm not picking against them at all until they lose. So I will always pick the Chiefs, and they are at home, by the way. And if they've just activated every tight end in the league, well, I think they're going to be just fine. What do you think, Ralph?
I think the same. I mean, the AFC is going to have to deal with the fact the Chiefs are probably going to be in the Super Bowl again. It's just a good team, and I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes at home either, so I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right, now let's get to the business of our own games. We've already done the Colts, so let's get to the Washington Commandos on the road against a tough division of. I can't even finish the sentence. That's just a lie.
It's a tough defense. Anyway.
No, they're just playing the Giants. That's all. Another W for the column, I think, for the Washington Commandos. The Giants are just absolute disaster. You say their defense might give your team at least some sort of a fight?
I mean, they did the last time they played, and I know that was the second game in the season, and so the offense was not quite as unleashed as it has been, ever since then. And Washington did have a good offensive day. They didn't punt that day, but they also never found the end zone. So the Giants defense is actually a really good defense. You just never know it because their quarterback throws an interception every single game. They can't run the football, and Malik Neighbors is alone in that wide receiver room. So the Giants are going to lose this game, but I think that defense makes this trickier than you realize.
Ralph, any hope for the Giants?
No, I don't think so. Their pass defense has not looked good the last 3 weeks. If you look at the games, I think Jaden Daniels is going to go off on these guys in the secondary. This is a Commanders win. I know it's a division game and that makes things a little different, but I think the Commanders are a better team. So picking the Commanders.
Speaking of lame division games, now it's time to talk about the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Ralph, what happened to your team? What the hell's going on with your team? They suck.
What's happening is with them is what I kind of figured was going to happen. They're inconsistent, right? It's a new coach, a new scheme, new everything, and it's taking time, and it's going to take time. I mean, so it doesn't surprise me that 1 week they look fantastic, the next week they look terrible.
Is DK Metcalf back?
It's still questionable.
Is Tyler Lockett back?
I haven't seen that he's out.
Do you have anybody that knows how to play football?
Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Anybody on defense?
No, the defense. Look,
your
Seattle
defense has not come as advertised.
Seattle, well, because now they've made changes. The scheme's different. They're adding pieces to it. Again, this is a tough team to bet against or for because they're going.
I'm picking the Rams.
They're going to look good one week and bad the next. Here's the thing, though: Stafford has never lost to them. He's 4-0 against them as a Ram. The Rams are Seattle's kryptonite. They have been for a long time. It's the one team that, even when they were great, the one team that would have messed with them. So. All those things said, say you take the Rams, but it's in Seattle. That's important on a Monday night. If the offense can actually run the ball, and the Rams are not great against the run, and Seattle just needs to start running because they're throwing up like 80 million passes a game, and they're not using K9, who's one of the best running backs in the game. So no, if they change that up and they start running, they can very much win this game. So I'm going to hope that happens, and I'm going to take the Seahawks because they're at home on a Monday night, and I know Geno will get his yards. But I think Kenneth Walker is going to have a game, and that's why they win this game.
Now, I understand the Rams can lose the game as well. The Rams can find a way to do that. But
I agree.
I liked what I saw last week. They started Cooper Kupp was back, Puka Nacua is back, and that offense was back. And your defense is offense right now. There's no D.
It depends on the game.
Yeah, I feel like the Rams should win this one. Keon?
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks in this game. I think that they are. Yeah, I think.
Oh wait, I forgot. What did Ralph take?
Seahawks.
You morons. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Wow. I mean, I just think that one of the things that made this Seahawks defense also very inconsistent has been injuries. Like they've just been banged up, but the starters, they're all healthy this week. So you do have Reek Woolen, you do have Devon Witherspoon, you do have Julian Love in that secondary. Like I think that absolutely matters in a game like this where you're going up against Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford at the helm. But the Rams secondary is also bad. And I just think in a shootout scenario, I like what the Seahawks have defensively more than I like what the Rams have.
Okay. All right. So we shall see. That happens on Sunday afternoon. Let's go now to the Arizona Cardinals at home against the Chicago Bears. You're not going to get the kind of picking that Randy does. I don't think anybody here is as enthusiastic about the Arizona Cardinals right now. So I'm just going to let Keon talk.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears. I think that this Bears defense is just a legitimately good defense. When you have all of your players paying attention to the play and not jawing with fans on a last-second Hail Mary, then yeah, it's a really good defense that's really done a good job against specifically this kind of quarterback, the guys that can get out of the pocket and extend plays like Kyler does. Usually you can do that against a lot of defenses. Kyler's found success with it this season. Not against this defense, though. And I also just don't like the Cardinal secondary. They have a lot of issues. I think they have tightened up the last couple of weeks. Like Gannon has clearly tried to experiment with things to get them back on track. But the fact of the matter is they still don't have the personnel. And Caleb Williams looked really, really good in the second half of that game last week.
All right, Ralph, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams has looked better and better every week. His last 3 weeks have been really impressive. I like him a lot in what he's doing, even though they lost that fluke game last week. They should have won that, obviously. But he did such a great job in the second half. It was very impressive. I think that continues against this defense that's kind of weak. Cardinals remind me a lot of the Seahawks. They're very inconsistent. I mean, they can look pretty good one week and they just look terrible the next. So, I mean, they're going through their stuff too. And I think the Bears are just getting better every week. That defense is phenomenal. I'm going to take the Bears.
Well,
I agree. I mean, I know the defense has issues too against the pass.
I just want to say something, Ralph. Fluke game can't happen if your quarterback is actually scoring in the first half of the games, though.
Oh no, agreed. But I mean, you had that game you won. Come on, come on. You throw that Hail Mary. How is somebody not playing behind the group? But anyway,
they were, and he was a Washington commando.
Wrong guy.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to play that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it's your team.
You got a guy. You got a guy in front. You got a guy behind. Everybody else, you go up try to bat the ball down.
You got beaten that game.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Scoreboard says otherwise.
I agree with you.
Yeah, also, the old W there, Ralph.
Also, again, the stuff that happened in the first half matters too.
Agreed.
Like the Bears could have put that thing away if they had gotten anything going. They did.
I think this week you're going to see Caleb put on a show. I really do. I think he's going to put on a show against that defense. He's looked so good. So I'm going to take them. I think they win this game. I don't think it's a big blowout or anything like that. I think it'll be a close game, but I do think they win.
I'm going to pick now, and this game shall forever be known as the surprise time that Jeffrey O'Brien picked the Cardinals.
So what did you do to your wife?
That never happens.
He did something to his wife.
Here's what I think. I think that as long as Kyler Murray is healthy, Marvin Harrison Jr. is starting to come into his own. You got Trey McBride getting it done out there. They've got a pretty good running game. I know the defense for the Bears is good, but you can only do so much if the Cardinals offense is clicking. It's at home. I actually am picking and not changing my pick, the Arizona Cardinals to beat the Chicago Bears this week.
Wow.
I'll give you a moment.
Never thought I'd live to see the
I mean,
day.
honestly, I just feel like you've done something to your wife. I think that's all it is.
She actually was against it. She's like, don't be jinxing me. I'm like, you're 4-4. I have no effect on whether or not this does anything, to be honest.
I think you're dealing with the impacts. You probably watched the game last week and you thought, oh wow, they actually played pretty good, but it was a bad team they played.
Oh, I know that.
So I'm just saying, this is a different.
That doesn't
defense.
change the fact that the Arizona Cardinals offense is capable of making some things happen. I know that everybody has to be perfect, and Kyler Murray has to be unmolested, but he's going to be on the run, and when he's on the run, he's usually at his best. So I feel like all the cosmic tumblers fall into place, and the Cardinals get them a W this weekend.
He's going to get like sacked 5 times in this game.
All right, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. I lose 1 pick. So what? I'm still ahead of you. 888-368-1580. All right, let's look at the rest of the schedule. Boy, hot garbage, top to bottom. Don't care about the Falcons and the Cowboys.
Except the Cowboys are trying to avoid losing 3 in a row for the first time since
They're going to
2018.
lose. They're going to lose.
I can't wait. Oh, can't wait.
The Panthers, of course, are going to lose to the slightly less loser Saints. They just
maybe
slightly less loser.
Getting Derek Carr back there.
So slightly less loser. The Chargers should beat the Browns. I don't care what Jameis Winston did last week. This team should be able to outcoach them at the very least. Tennessee Titans going to get beat by the Patriots on accident. Let's see.
I mean, the Patriots did beat the Jets last week on purpose. So
I know. I just don't believe
because the Patriots defense is like it's another one of those defenses where it's real, but it's attached to an offense. It's not any good.
Yeah.
See, I got the Eagles. Well, of course they're going to beat Jacksonville. It's not even a question. And then we've already talked about everything else. So that's it because you got Pittsburgh's on a bye and the 49ers are on a bye.
As bad as Jacksonville is, you think the Eagles are for sure?
Yeah.
The Eagles aren't that good.
The Eagles aren't that good. It's
are
just
that much better than the Jaguars.
Jacksonville just finds like where Jacksonville and Philly are kind of the same team, but every now and then Philly finds a way to win games that Jacksonville seems to figure out how to lose.
Let's go to the text line while we got a moment. Fish Tank says, Ralph saying Caleb Williams looked great in the last game when they scored 15 points. Yeah, that sounds about right. Bruno Baller says, could the Bears fans possibly outnumber the Cardinals fans at the game? Yes.
Very possible.
It's snowbird season. Absolutely.
Yes. Seabass says, Ralph, blah, 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 blah. Cardinals stink, blah, 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 blah. Seahawks are the best, blah, 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 blah. I like the Rams too, and they're winning, blah, 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 blah. I have no life, blah, 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 blah.
But, I'm gonna say two things to that. Number one, Dodgers won the World Series, so stuff it. Number two, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Rams will win that division. I really believe that. I think the Rams win the NFC West.
I disagree with that.
And then you argued with me about the Rams beating the Seahawks.
I'm just saying the Seahawks can win this game, but I'm telling you, I think the Rams are getting pieces back, and I think they're going to start playing some serious ball.
Are any of those pieces going to help them on defense?
We'll see.
The answer is no.
To win that division, it'll probably take 9 wins.
Moist One says, happy birthday, Pumpkin. Don't call me Pumpkin Blumpkin. Last Optimist says, I'm happy Ralph gets to enjoy, at least a moment.
I get a moment. It's just one of many. It's one of many, though. I mean, there's 8 titles on my head here. So, I mean, I get it. I just got to buy another trophy to clean it.
God. I'd read you the rest of Last Optimist text, except for it just became the thinky wheel. So I have no idea what he said. So we'll come back around to it.
Eventually.
Thundar Sam Barbarian says, Taco Kenny has great taste in baseball teams. Yeah, whatever. Let's see here. Mr. Roboto, who agreed with me about Al McCoy and his statue, says Milwaukee hopes the Brewers Stadium will be named after Hank Aaron and Bob Uecker. Well, that's unlikely, as in today's world, stadiums get named after corporations. Uecker should definitely have a statue. Don't tell me Uecker shouldn't have a statue.
He should.
And he says is that he doesn't already have one.
And then he says, go ahead and put me in the penalty box. Happy Boo Earth Day.
Okay, yeah.
You'll rot in hell.
Wow.
Bat Flipper says, call Donnie Bonnie. Why would I call him? Oh, Boo Bonnie. Okay, that's enough. Rough Rob just wants to talk about the Dodgers. I don't. Donnie says, last time the Colts came to Minnesota was when they gave up 33-0 lead and lost. Yeah, okay. I mean, and have I bragged about the Colts? I've picked the Dolphins. I've picked the Vikings. Oaktown Destroyer says, you know what hurts? Being a Raiders fan. That's what hurts.
That is a little painful right now.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Silver Pop says, happy birthday, Jeffrey. I said this when my Cardinals got their ass handed to them by Jaden Daniels, and I'll repeat this again. Williams is going to have a Hall of Fame type game against our defense. Cardinals always makes rookie quarterbacks look elite. Also, I see Ralph's wearing a Rioters costume. Yes, he's going as an LA Rioter.
I got a free TV last night.
Good for you. Donnie says, put an 8-piece of Fry's chicken on the line. I don't even like Fry's chicken anymore. It doesn't taste like it used to.
They changed
the recipe. It's not. It's no good anymore. I don't even know what chicken to eat anymore. I'm
told them
lost. I'm hurt. I'm dying inside because Ralph's. Actually, it is Ralph's in California. Fries changed their recipe. Broke my heart. Pull the plug says, Ralph, does Randy even work half the time? He works all the time that he shows up. Moist One says, Euchre does have a statue. It's all the way up in the cheap seats. Oh, that's actually awesome. That is actually funny. That's pretty good. That's pretty good gag right there. I'm not reading your stupid Halloween joke, Mr. Wilbur. I'm just not doing it. Hey, get your fantasy football questions ready. The King is up next. 1580, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down. Now with 2 valid locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is paired right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game and a bite at the bar at Kasai. Now the 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppan.com. That's KASAI Teppan.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
My name is Mary Grace. Early diagnosis is key, but make no mistake, it is a devastating disease.
For more information, contact us at alz.org or through the 24/7 helpline at 800-272-3900. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, Ralph had to leave just as we were getting ready to talk about the Dodgers. Oh, well, guess we'll just not do that. We weren't really going to do that. We have Scott, the Fantasy Football King, Engel with us, though, to answer all your fantasy football questions. He is the senior writer for rotoballer.com. In fact, you can catch him on Rotoballer on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. What time is that on, Scott?
6 to 7 a.m. Eastern on Sundays. Jeff, am I right? It's your birthday?
Yes, today is my birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate that. And thank you for not making a lame Halloween connected joke to it, because that's all I've been getting all day. So
no, it's not Halloween. It's your birthday.
I appreciate that. You can also find Scott online. He's, of course, Scott E. the King on the socials. He's also the official fantasy writer for Seahawks.com. And he's a badass because he's an inaugural member of the Fantasy Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. And he answers your questions here free of charge. You know, we probably should start charging people, Scott.
Yeah, I think so.
Like how much per person?
He just read off. Yeah.
How much per person? How much per question should we charge?
I would say we're doing about, what is it, about 20 questions per segment?
More. Oh, segment. Yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah. So I would say about $5 per question.
Oh, wow. Okay, $5. I was going to say whatever the cost of one Dr. Pepper is. But yeah, $5, that's Dr. Peppers for everyone.
Well, that's half a 12-pack, so.
Well, there's only the three of us right now, so that actually can work.
No, I need a 12-pack just for myself.
Well, we got to figure out how we would even collect the money, because everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'll get you next time I see you. And we will never see a dime.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, once I figured it out.
Pay before they can ask a question.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You got to pay to play. I got it. Well, once we figure out the logistics of it, then we'll start cranking in some money. But until then, it's just free. And of course, since it's our show, we get to ask our questions first for free. And I got to tell you, last week was so good for me because I had Kyle Pitts and Cade Otton. Oh, that felt good. Except for the fact I lost my game. You want to hear about some fantasy football heartbreak? I'm sure you've heard this story a million times. I had a 40-plus point lead over the number one guy in our league. And all he had left to play was CeeDee Lamb, who hadn't busted over 25 all season. And I lost because of CeeDee Lamb. I don't know why. That's not what I expected the response to be. Actually, I should have known better. I was looking for some sympathy. I've been there. Oh my God. Now that's how I probably would have responded as well.
No, you
That's
absolutely
fair.
would. 100%.
That's fair. So, I wanted to start a new segment with you, but I didn't want to have to talk to you about it beforehand. So feel free to just say no to me on air live. I thought it would be fun is to have you tell us about the unsung, the unrostered gems. You're in the movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. This is nothing like that. It's unrostered gems with the king of fantasy football. Somebody that's out there on a weekly basis that if maybe nobody has them, you should be thinking about them.
That's quite interesting because there are a lot of receivers out there, but with all the injuries in Jacksonville, I think maybe Parker Washington can step up and, post some decent numbers.
Parker Washington.
There's only two teams on a bye, so there's not a lot of plug and play off guys off the wire at other positions. But also, if you want to roll the dice, Taysom Hill can have a boom game in any week, and he doesn't have a statistical floor, but nobody does a tight end.
Yeah. So do you trust the tight end position right now, by the way? Last weekend, it seemed like they flipped a switch and suddenly tight ends were getting us fantasy football points again. Do you trust that, or was that just a thing?
No, I trust it. You got to go by trends. It's not just a thing, it's not like baseball where a guy is due,
Yeah. Well, so, I'm looking at doing it again with Kyle Pitts and Cade Otton in my flex. I got Xavier Worthy sitting there, but I don't know if he's going to have the same kind of output that I'd hoped he would have. And Javonte Williams I've got on the bench with Chuba Hubba and Tony Pollard playing. So
Hubba Bubba. Yeah.
So I feel like I've got it right. Leaving those guys benched and just sticking with what I've got on my roster, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I think I need to know your whole bench, though. You know, to see if you make a move. It's not something I can generally answer. People will always say, "Oh, who should I cut? Who should I pick up?" I got to know who's out there.
Well, I gave you the notables. I got Xavier Worthy sitting there, Rashad Bateman, Javonte Williams, and like a couple of these guys are just placeholders, like Miles Sanders and Michael Wilson. Maybe they do something, maybe they don't.
Miles Sanders not even a placeholder for the Panthers. So
well, the reason I have him is just handcuffed to Chubba Hubba.
No, but Jonathan Brooks is coming back, but maybe by next week. So
at that
Sanders
point,
might even get traded.
Yeah. Well, at that point, then we'll see what happens. Well, like I said,
besides, if Hubbard was to get hurt, Miles Sanders will get 12 carries for 13 yards. So he's not going to help you.
Good point. Well, like I said, there's not a whole lot on the waiver when you've got a 12-team league. The rest of our daily blender fantasy football leagues are 10-team. It's just Premier League is harder. We got 12. So, all right.
It's the Premier League.
Yep. So, Keon, you got any questions for the man?
Well, I've got one question right immediately, which is a trade request that I got.
Okay.
Pinisher wants to get Bucky Irving from me. In return, I will get Keon Coleman and an opportunity to be Keon and have Keon on my team.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, that's
I would definitely do that because the Tampa Bay backfield is unpredictable. Whoever's offered you this is thinking that Coleman outperformed his value last week, and it's a great time to buy on him. What you saw last week with 125 yards was not a mirage. I would do it.
All right, hit the button, Keon, and I'm in the system, so I can approve the trade immediately for you if you want to do that. But
button pushed, trade accepted. So there we go.
Keon's got to get to Keon. We talked about it last.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah,
I tried to draft him, but it didn't work out.
Well, your dreams are about to come true.
Other ways.
All right, well, and then last question, question.
Okay,
flex position. Would you go Brian Robinson or would you go T. Higgins?
Well, T. Higgins might not play, so
right.
I think that's
so there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of
a lot of questions out there.
Yeah, a lot of mystery though too. Do we have any more information on Lamar Jackson? He's been out of practice, but they've indicated he might have a back injury, a knee injury, and then the other part of the team saying, "Oh no, he's just having a day off." Do you have any insight on that, Scott?
No, not anything more that's been reported. Friday's the big day to find out what his real outlook's going to be. On a Thursday, it's tough to know.
So everybody needs to just
Friday's a pivotal day.
Pay attention to what's happening on Friday and make that decision then. So tonight you got the Texans and the Jets. So there's also a Suns game on another channel. So go for that. All right, so let's get them questions rolling, shall we?
Yeah.
Donnie was first up. Says Pittman, Jaden Reed, or Keon Coleman in the flex.
I do like Coleman, but I think Jaden Reed's got a terrific matchup. I know he hasn't smashed in his recent matchups, but I think they're going to get him the ball this week. He's got a really good draw this week, so I'm going to go Jaden Reed. Although I do like Coleman too.
Big George says, "Hi, Mr. Scott Engel. Do you prefer Wingstop?
Hello?
Do you prefer Buffalo Wild Wings or Native New Yorker for wings?"
I will tell you one thing. After being hammered over the head by the Wingstop commercial throughout the World Series, throughout NFL Sunday, and during NBA games, it's certainly not Wingstop. If I hear that no flex zone, one time I'm going to smash my monitor.
Is that a real song? I hate that now. I mean, I probably would have hated it anyway.
I hate it. As for wings, I'm not as much of a New Yorker wings as I am with pizza.
All right, so what's your pizza?
I'm a pizza snob. I don't do the chains. No Domino's, no Papa John's. It's got to be a local place.
All right, well, just tell us where your place is. I was just curious there.
Okay, there's 3 of them in Queens, like Gloria Pizza, Amore Pizza, Lucia Pizza. They're all within the same family, sort of.
When I come visit you and stay on your couch, then I'll try all 3.
Okay, there you go. as long as they're paying, I'm fine with it.
Oh, he's like, yeah, you can say, oh, I got to pay for
Yeah.
the couch too.
Well,
Jeez.
I'm doing all these questions for free. You can at least buy me pizza, right?
I'll show up with a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper. That buys me the space on the couch. And then, yes, meals are on me at the all three of your favorite pizza places.
You like run this station and you need to stay on somebody's couch?
Don't need to, just like to.
Okay, gotcha.
Oaktown Destroyer says, good afternoon, Mr. the King. Which defense should I play? The Jets defense or the Chargers defense?
I think they're both good picks, but the Jets are missing both of their starting safeties and their starting middle linebacker. Even though Houston has injuries at wide receiver, I prefer the Chargers slightly.
There you go, Oaktown Destroyer. Bullseye says, Scott E. King of my fantasy football. Would you start Deontay Johnson, Rashad White, Devin Singletary, or Devontae Smith, or Lad McConkey in the flex position?
Devontae Smith smash spot this week, unquestionably.
There you go, Bullseye. Finding Wampa says, Kyler Murray or Matt Stafford?
I'm going to go with Stafford. Murray's been underperforming most of the season. One of the most overrated quarterbacks in fantasy football. Sorry to Kyler and his fans who are listening.
There's not that many who listen to
Talking
this.
fantasy here.
Yeah. Latina Leprechaun says, Scott, I have a question. Would you start Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes, or Trevor Lawrence?
I would go with Mahomes. I like his matchup this week, and second game playing with DeAndre Hopkins has got some upside. Tampa Bay ranks 28th in fantasy points allowed to quarterbacks.
There you go, Latina. Chosen One says, good afternoon, Mr. the King. 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, so I got to choose 3. Marvin Harrison, Zay Flowers, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, and A. Madison.
Well, you're not going to start Alexander Madison. We don't know if Metcalf is playing or not yet. So, that'll determine it. If he plays, you start him and you bench Zay Flowers. Otherwise, you got your 3.
DJ Moore was kind of a disappointment last week. Do you think he's going to have an improvement this week?
He's a quality receiver. Wouldn't surprise me to see him bounce back.
Screaming Eagle says, I got to drop a tight end. So which one? Which one do I drop? Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram, or Tucker Kraft?
You don't drop any of them. You trade one of them because you have 3 of the top players at the thinnest position in fantasy football. You don't cut anybody. You trade one of them.
So which one do you think he should trade?
Whoever brings back the best return.
Who do you think that would be?
I think right now it'd probably be Kraft. He's hot statistically.
There you go. Hefty Lefty says, only one question I have this week. Chiefs versus Baker or Commanders versus Danny doesn't throw touchdowns at home?
Definitely the Commanders. They played well last week, too.
Mm-hmm. Swave Dave says, happy Halloween. Should I play Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith?
That's a tough one. I don't like either one. The Seahawks generally don't do good against the Rams, and if Metcalf doesn't play, I'm slightly leaning towards Mayfield here.
Really, even against
Mayfield's got a tough matchup too.
Yeah,
he's missing both of his starting receivers. I'm slightly leaning Geno, but I'm not optimistic on either one.
Yeah, all part of that is because of Scott's Seahawks fandom. But I don't like Baker.
Hey, those are fighting words, okay? I never make decisions with my heart.
Yeah,
objectivity.
Well, no, for you, what it is right there is you're a little bit down on your team because you're feeling the pain when they lose.
No, but I don't let that creep into my analysis.
You'd be one of the few people. I mean, some of the most serious radio talk show hosts when it comes to sports have a huge blind side when it comes to their teams, one direction or the other. So props to you if you're able to control that.
Well, I have to because I'm giving people fantasy advice. It's different than me and other hosts. I'm doing people a disservice if I say start, Jackson Smith-Njigba because I'm a Seahawk fan. That doesn't help anybody.
Right. Or, self-hating Seahawk fan, and then you're going another direction. So, he has another question. Tony Pollard or Breece Hall?
Breece Hall every week. What's this guy's name?
Swave Dave.
Swave Dave, if you ask that question again, you're going to get fined. You'll never play Tony Pollard over Breece Hall.
I guess we'll have to blow the whistle on you there, man. Swuzman says, "Hey, Mr. the King, I am 4-4, but I'm still in the playoff hunt."
Yes.
Swuzman, everybody's in the playoff hunt. Come on.
No, not if you're 1-7. No.
Okay, most everybody. But Matt Stafford or CJ Stroud tonight?
I'm going to go Stafford. I don't like Stroud. He's missing both of his starting wide receivers against that Jets defense. The Jets are still strong on the corners, even though both their safeties are out. I was writing about this on Cleveland.com today. I like on Bet365, Dalton Schultz over 4.5 receptions plus 125.
All right, well that's all fair, but what are your actual thoughts on CJ Stroud? I feel like I'd be afraid of CJ Stroud and inconsistencies. And I mean, Matt Stafford has his own, but wouldn't you? What are your thoughts on CJ Stroud himself as a quarterback?
I think he's a great talent. It's going to be a test for him to play without his two top wide receivers this week. And so I think this is going to be a real proving ground for CJ Stroud tonight. The last time the Jets had this many injuries in the secondary, they gave up 37 points to Pittsburgh.
Got it. Listen, we have to take a break. When we come back, we got a full docket of fantasy football questions. More can be asked. Get in there, 888-368-1580. We got Scott, the fantasy football king, Engel, with us, answering all the questions before Thursday night football, Texans and Jets. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
This message comes from Viking.
committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way, from up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet, weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and just saw, I believe, legit news. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Mr. the King, but Puka Nacua is left practice with a knee injury, according to the team.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I know, right? Not great for the Rams as they take on the Seahawks. I mean, you, the Seahawk fan, you know. Okay, but you, the fantasy football player,
anybody get injured, though, you know,
except for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, we're happy to see Deshaun Watson get injured, but outside of that, you don't ever want to see a guy get injured.
Yeah.
Anyway, something to keep an eye on. I'm not sure about the legitimacy of the report for sure, but something to keep an eye on. All right, let's get back to it. The Stockton Slap says got to start 2 receivers. D. Adams, DJ Moore, J. Smith and Njigba, or D. Hopkins?
I would go Hopkins and Moore. I think Hopkins' second game with the Chiefs are going to start to see better numbers.
There you go, Stockton Slap. Beer Bob says, good afternoon, Mr. the King. I need 2 out of the next 4. Laporta, Odunze, Brian Thomas, or Wan'Dale Robinson.
I don't like using Wan'Dale Robinson. He's out of the mix there. Odunze, I don't like using him, but you might have to use Robinson if Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't play. You know, that's the thing with a lot of these questions, and I'm not trying to be critical of anybody, though. With a lot of times, these guys are injured, and you can't make your lineup decisions on a Thursday if the players are not involved on a Thursday game, and we have to wait to see Friday practice before. Friday is the key day.
Big George says, I'm kind of screwed with my wide receiver situation with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out. So do I start DeMarcus Robinson, Rashad Bateman, Adam Thielen, or Demario Douglas in the wide receiver position?
I would probably go Bateman. I don't see Deontay Johnson having a major effect in his first game there.
Moist One says, hi, Mr. the King. Go Hawks. He says, I can help you get paid for questions as your OnlyFans manager. Yeah, don't do it, man. Don't. If
I did that, people would be yelling, put it on, put it on.
I mean, there's money to be made there too, right? I mean, I'm just saying. But here is his actual fantasy football question. Swift or Chase Brown?
Swift. He's been playing terrific. You know, so much upside right now. Good acquisition for the Bears.
Mr. Pink Eye says, okay, I'll ask it, but knock it off. Booker or Anthony Edwards at the guard position?
Edwards is really tough to take out of your lineup. It depends. Are you playing total points? I go with Edwards. If I go categories, it really depends on, the makeup of your team. But I lean towards Edwards. There's got to be a way you can play both.
Good point. Back to football. Hamilton
I
Porter
can
says,
take fantasy basketball questions.
yeah, it's not what we're supposed to be doing right now. I'll allow it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Hamilton,
What they want?
we'll have you come back for a fantasy basketball segment. Hamilton Porter says, I'm 7-1, but now we got the thinky wheel on him. So I'm sorry, buddy. I'll have to come back to you. Oh, here it is. Nope. Yeah, here it is. He says, I'm 7-1, but I'm in a league with a bunch of morons. Again, that being said, Purdy or Hurts this week?
Purdy or who?
Hurts.
Oh, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, you never bench Jalen Hurts. Trade Brock Purdy.
There you go. Fighting Wampa wants to know Njoku or Otten in the PPR.
Otten's has been playing good, but I still lean the Joker with Winston at quarterback.
Moldy Tuna Fish says, Scott, would you go with Jaden Daniels or Dak Prescott?
Jaden Daniels pretty much every week at this point. He's a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
I wonder what's going to happen with Dallas. I mean, even Jerry Jones has got to see it now, right? What's going on there?
No, he never does. And this is a team that I think can still win the Super Bowl.
Yeehaw!
I'm going to prove that I can do this without Jimmy. It's taken me 30 years, but I still think I can win it without Jimmy.
Well, if that's his thought process, he will die. Moldy Tuna Fish, thank you for that.
Wow.
I don't mean like, he's going to die without having realized it, is what I'm saying. Stockton Slap says, should I start Stroud or Mayfield? Or do I pick up Caleb Williams or Matt Stafford?
I would pick up Matt Stafford and start him. You know, he's 325 plus passing yards in his last 2 games at Seattle.
There you go. Let's see. Historian says Mahomes or Goff?
I go with Goff. That's the best offense in the NFL in Detroit.
I already know what you're going to say, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I got Goff and I've got Jalen Hurts. I'm starting Jalen Hurts
every week.
Okay. Swazman says second wide receiver. Jay Myers, Jay Waddle, or Sutton?
I'm gonna go Sutton. He has a good matchup this week. Waddle hasn't shown us enough yet.
Moist One wants to know what your favorite candy is.
You know, I can't eat that kind of stuff. It kills me, but it'd probably be a tie between Kit Kat and Three Musketeers.
Are you handing out candy?
No, I'm busy writing articles.
So I guess you're not dressing up?
No, I'm gonna dress up as Garrett Cole and not cover first base.
There you go.
Oh, that has to hurt. Oh, God.
All right, lightning round. Bucky Irving or Devin Singletary for Seabass?
Bucky Irving.
All right. For George, TJ Hawkinson or Rashad Bateman?
Bateman is Hawkinson's first game back.
Last one, Deontay Johnson or Cedric Tillman for Jonesy?
Tillman. It's Deontay Johnson's first game with a new team.
There you go. That is Scott, the Fantasy Football King Engel. Find him on the rotoballer.com or at Seahawks.com or on Sirius XM's Fantasy Sports Radio for Rotoballer. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Thursday Night Football is up next.
Athletic too. Happy birthday.
You better, you bet. We